Jordan, go through some Far Cry 6.
Basically,
what we saw there.
it was just a cinematic video of Giancarlo Esposito. The main new bad guy. Basically,
I believe that's the actor that plays it. I think it's something Castillo.
I don't know
going to be
what his
the
main
main character's name.
We're gonna call him Giancarlo.
And then the Far Cry 3 character, what's his name? Jazz?
Vaz.
No, Vaz.
But
there we go.
I actually
Jazz.
His name's
Vaz.
Jizz.
I actually don't think it's Vaz anymore. I mean, maybe it is.
No, it is. It definitely is.
Because it's taking place in modern time. We now know it's modern day.
Wait,
well,
so was Far Cry 3.
Yeah. So if Far Cry 3 was in modern day and this game's in modern day, how is Vaz a child and an adult at the same
because
time?
it's all presently, right?
Yeah.
Like you can
It
do
could
that
be
with stories.
In 4 years.
No, he literally has an iPhone on his desk, like the iPhone 11.
Yeah,
Like,
but
it's today.
Yeah, but it could still be a prequel of.
Are you sure it's an iPhone 11 or is it an iPhone 5S?
I don't know. Hey, we'll have
Or
to go
the
right.
OG.
I mean, there's literally an iPhone.
Maybe that's an iPod.
Yeah. I mean, when did it come out? Like 2008?
Wasn't fat
That's
enough
the
for
250 gig iPod right there.
No, anyway, I maybe it is. I don't know. I'm just saying. We now
It's
have
the
new
Zune.
information. It's the Zune.
With a skin. That's a skin on it.
This is Zune with a skin.
Dude.
Anyway, the trailer is really interesting.
Hold on. Sorry. Since you brought up Zunes, did you ever play with a Zune?
I played with one. I never had one.
It was actually legitimately good. It had some cool stuff, but you just couldn't beat the iPod at the time.
Well, it had a lot. Yeah, it had a lot of good stuff. I think
what it didn't have was iTunes, because remember iTunes when it was good it was like your first music
iTunes when it was good.
Yeah. iTunes when
it was like
good.
your first. It was your first music management software that was legit. Zune just didn't have anything that could compete with that.
Well, it also didn't have the limitations that come with Apple.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You could play it. You could play that music. You buy it. You could put it anywhere you wanted. Whereas Apple, you couldn't.
They kept that in house.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways,
sorry. Far Cry 6.
Far Cry 6. It's a cinematic trailer of.
I think it still could be him
Vaz?
because he's what like 13 here.
Yeah.
And Vaz looks like he's 21. So in that 7-year period, you could you could become that character.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know.
He has the same slit in his eye.
It does.
I think they just do that on purpose for misdirection.
They're misdirecting you.
Because if you're talking about their game, you're thinking about their game, right?
There you go.
Marketing.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? You're talking about the phone, and remember his line is, "This is a good phone."
Hey, maybe. Hey, that actually could maybe he used to have good phones. And maybe
Yeah,
he's
he's
like,
like,
oh, it's better than
I had
mine,
the
huh?"
iPhone 11 before it even came out.
Hey, maybe you're right. I didn't think of it that way. But
This trailer, though,
He knows his phones.
it was instant silence. It was instant hook. It was instant.
'cause the
bad
acting
guy
is
so
so
good.
good.
They set you up. He's basically
he's teaching his son a lesson.
he's
if you know what I
teaching
mean.
his son how to be an evil genius.
Be better. Don't be sorry. Be better. Throw the grenade on these people.
Yeah.
Well, the first line was
Drop
what
it.
he goes,
Drop
"Son,
it, son.
that car is perfect. It's useless,
But it's
perfect."
Yeah.
And you're like, "Oh man, I think I gotta raise my son."
That's a great point.
And you're like, "Oh wow, yeah."
And you can tell he was just beat the night before by him too, right? Like that is great dictatorial fathering.
Dictatorial. D-I-C-K-E-D torial. Dictatorial.
But no, the cinematic trailer looks really good. We got some screenshots of what the game. We didn't get any gameplay, but we got the screenshots. We got some screenshots of what the game will look like. It looks really pretty. It looks gorgeous. One thing I noticed from the screenshots is your guns look way customizable. They look like they were built out of like car exhaust parts. You know what I mean? Like a full like weird red dot sights. Like it looks like a full like. I'm guessing they're gonna have a pretty robust crafting system with guns and stuff like that. I mean, that's just a guess. We don't know for sure, but anyway, the trailer looks really good, and this has a solid release date of February 21st, 2020, which as of right now is sitting all by itself.
All by itself.
Which
Now,
I think that's a good release
let me-
date. Ubisoft's got a really good lineup over the next 6 months. I will tell you that.
Let me ask you this about Far Cry. A lot of people are kind of done with the Far Cry formula. There's that criticism, it's the same thing over and over. Personally, I don't agree with that. I really enjoy Far Cry. I thought, what's the caveman Far Cry that they went? Far Cry Primal.
Primal, yeah.
That was a really cool different way to do Far Cry. But then they brought us back in Far Cry with the father, right? and that first 15
I
minutes
enjoyed that one.
of any game, in my opinion, like just sucks you right in. I'm not tired of the Far Cry formula because of the bad guys, because of the physics involved with the game, because of this open world exploration that you have, but with a shooter. I really enjoy the formula. I haven't grown tired of it, but am I alone in that? What do you guys think?
No, I think it's I mean, I get the. I mean, Call of Duty was kind of like that for a while. At least for me, it kind of felt like just a $60 map pack almost every year for a while there. But anyway, so I mean, I get where they're coming from, but I like the game, so I don't mind it essentially. And I feel like they are doing newer things each time, right? Put it this way: you remember when Borderlands 3 was coming out?
Yeah.
And a lot of, when it came out, there was some reviews out there that basically talked about like, oh, Borderlands 3 is just Borderlands 2 with more stuff. And it was like, well, that's what I wanted. You know what I mean? Like that's not necessarily a bad thing, right? If your formula works, it works, right? Now, like you were talking about, it can get repetitive, but I feel like even I didn't play
the expansion.
I didn't really play Far Cry 4, so I guess I had that break between 3 and 5.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But I enjoyed Far Cry 5. I felt
4 introduced planes,
flying machines.
Flying
I would
machines,
call
right?
those.
Right.
I've got a flying machine.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we don't know yet, but just from the screenshots I've seen, and this video, this one's looking to have a really good story, right?
Well, I like being. It's inspired by. It's basically like a Cuba. Type of guerrilla warfare.
The setting is cool, right?
Yeah.
Obviously the acting is really good, but I feel like they're adding. We'll see when we get more information. But when I saw those screenshots of those guns, like it really looks like, because of how the guns are built, they're not just like, here's an AK-47. Like it's a fully, you had scrap metal and you put it together. You know what I mean? Like it looks like they're gonna have quite a robust crafting type system, right?
Or at least a modding system.
Yeah,
right?
it kind of reminded me of, I've been playing Metro Exodus. It kind of reminded me of that, when it's like, oh man, all I have is this metal and you got to put it together. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you're making your own guns because you're playing as the rebels, type thing. So I don't know. I will admit the Ubisoft formula of going to the tower, discovering it, you know what I mean? That did get old after a while, but I feel like in recent games, like
they're getting away from that a little bit.
I mean, Far Cry 5 still kind of had that.
They definitely had it because it was the radio towers.
Yeah.
They'd have to go up, but that's part of the game, right?
Yeah, so Far Cry 5 had that, but the Assassin's Creed games kind of got away from that a little bit. They still have it, but it's a different.
It's a streamlined.
It's used differently,
version,
right? It's used to upgrade your bird instead. You know what I mean? Stuff like that in Assassin's Creed, right? So I don't know. I think they're. Basically, my point is I'm excited for more Far Cry.
Yeah,
right? I like the Far Cry formula. I'm excited for more.
Spicy.
Of it.
How about you on the Far Cry formula?
No, I get that viewpoint. The thing that I think that the strength of these games are the story and
it's
the
that
characters.
bad guy. It's the bad guys, right? Like so good.
The things that annoy me in these stories are the little quests that you have to do in between the stories. All feel the same, and they're all very repetitive. And that's what I think maybe people are discussing and maybe concerned about. But I mean, it's the fluff in the middle. The nice thing about like a game like Witcher is that fluff in the middle was like it was the meat
better
of
than the main course.
But at the same time, I really enjoyed the story of the Far Cry series. They've done an excellent job. Even in Far Cry Primal, I enjoyed those stories. Windjar. But so I get it. They are kind of repetitive. It's the nature of just how these games are. You got to do those towers, then they unlock this and this, and then you can see more in the area. But at the same time, the stories are fantastic. So I think the game's worth just learning about these characters and trying to fight against these characters, and just the sheer terror that these bad guys have, really make Ubisoft in this game know how to do bad guys.
Yeah, they do.
They know how to do villains, and I think that's where the strength in these games lies. So, yeah, it's repetitive. I get that, but at the same time, I enjoy the story of these games.
Yeah.
So.
Well said.
And other than this video and those screenshots that we got, we don't know much about this game other than kind of setting timeline or time and setting, right? So, I mean, maybe they'll switch the formula up a little bit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.